Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. Well, you're looking at my brand new E-Flite Night Timber X 1.2 meter. Beautiful plane. I spent 2 whole days covering this with polyacrylic clear coat, making it shine like a beautiful brand new plane that it is. I completely gutted the whole thing. I checked to see if the speed control needed an update. I registered the receiver and updated it. I reassembled it. I basically, I went through the plane from front to back, top to bottom, and crashed it tonight on its maiden flight. If you want to win this jet, all you have to do is subscribe, click the notification bell, and the like button. Then check back with me from time to time and see my new videos. Once we get to 1,000, we're going to do a drawing. I had a drawing at 100 and only 30% signed up. With those odds, it could be a 1 in 300 chance. Subscribe. Check me out, guys. I got it all on film, or on video. Taken to the off. Took off, made my first left-hand turn. I noticed that you need to use the rudder a little bit. I mentioned that. Then I continued the left-hand turn, headed back towards me. And just before it got to me, it started acting like the gyro was backwards. It was just hard to control. And then I tried to save it, doing everything I could do, and finally it went down. The landing gear is in bad shape. The back of the rudder is smashed in. Part of the elevator is smashed in. The motor is definitely not good anymore. It makes a clickety-click noise. I had two bad thoughts for this plane. The first one was I didn't want one that you had to put a battery in the bottom. I just didn't want to do that. But because of the lights, I got over the battery issue. And then all these dang wires under the wing, where the two wings go together, and it sits on top of the fuselage, there is a ton of wires. I'm talking a ton. Look at all that. Each wing has 11 wires, 4 plugs each wing. Plus all the receiver and all the other light controllers and stuff. There's just a ball of wires. And I spent a couple hours rearranging them, putting in some little sticky backed little keepers to run some zip ties just to kind of keep things how it should be. I did away with that little adapter they had at the battery just because that was extra, and just to try to declutter. Now it kind of makes sense why they put a 637 TA in there, a receiver with antennas to probably get to help out with all those wires. You know, if it was a single wire receiver or a wireless, it wouldn't work with all that stuff right there. So anyways, let's watch my maiden crash. All right, it's maiden time. Transmitter on. Pop the old battery door. I'll plug this guy up. Then we'll go ahead and set it level so it'll bind. Then I'll get my battery door on it. Alrighty. Something like that. All right. Let's get the plane stand out of the way. Thank you, Henry. Let's do a control surface check. Safe select is off. Right aileron up. Left aileron up. Elevator up. Elevator down. Rudder left.
rudder right. I'm going to check my rates, so we'll do right aileron up, low, mid, high, back to low. Here's another person. Safe on, safe off. Now I'm going to check the level flight out one more time while we're waiting on pedestrian with the plane level. And you turn safe select on, the elevator should not move. And it doesn't. If the plane was like that, and you turn safe on, the elevator should try to level it out. And it does. And then flaps mid, flaps full. I don't have it configured with the full span ailerons. I just have it in the basic stock setting. So for right now, I'm just going to taxi it, see how straight it goes, and see about what speed does it want to lift off. I'm going to try mid rates, safe on, throttle cut off. Let's just give it a little drive real quick. 3S 3200. Look at that brand new plane. You know, you pay for what you get at E-Flite. Great products. Look how straight it's tracking. That's beautiful. Just safe off. I mean, that is simply a beautiful thing. Oh, the lights look great. Thank you, Steve. I've only got 2 major complaints about this thing, and I'm going to work on that. So safe is back on. Got a fairly good sized parking lot here. Got one obstacle there, but we should be above it. So let's do a little taxi and just see when the back wants to come up, about how fast. Right there. So about a third of that with some flaps. I'm not a big flap flyer. You know, the Beaver is the only one that has flaps, and I haven't flown the Beaver all that much. Like, I'm really not even good at it yet. So I'm going to take off with no flaps in the mid rate, and then we'll just see what happens here. Camera on, and we're rolling. Taken to the off. Oh, it's pitchy. Pitchier than I thought. Need to use your rudder. Oh, something happened. Oh, I've never crashed one on a Maiden before. Look, safe is working. Just trying to flip it over right there. Wowzers. So, why did it do that? It was like, let's get over here. And believe it or not, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, the tail's kind of goofed up. I mean, I made the first turn was fine, and then it acted like my controls were backwards. It's exactly what it acted like. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden it was like the ailerons went backwards. Interesting. Well, let's do a damage assessment here. Oh man, that really just bums me out, guys. That bums me out. So the motor's all jacked. Hear it clicking and hitting. Throttle cut's on. So I have not unplugged it. It is still powered. Safe is off because I turned it off when it was laying upside down because the ailerons were fully deflected. You can see the rudder's all smashed in right here. Elevator's smashed in. The motor's making noise. Right aileron up, left up, elevator down, rudder left, rudder right. Flaps half, flaps full. Throttle cut off. Throttle worked. Now throttle cut. Safe on. Right aileron up, left aileron up. Elevator up, elevator down. Rudder left, rudder right. Okay, so safe is on. Throttle cut. Look at the ailerons. They're going up just like it's supposed to. If this wing comes up, the aileron goes up to fight the wind. Elevator up, elevator down. Upside down. I mean, it was not a signal loss at all. It was because I was having problems when it was closer to me. And I fly in this parking lot quite a bit. You know, all them dang wires under that wing, that was the number 2 gripe. At first, I didn't want this plane because I did not want it because I didn't want to have to hassle with putting a battery in from the bottom. I didn't want to do that. And then I got over that fact because the plane was just so cool and the lights made up for it. You know, you want to get that one last flight in the evening and it's, you know, starting to get a little dark and you're thinking, oh, can I get one more pack in? And you do, and then you kind of regret it. This is the plane to have to do that last couple of battery packs in the evening. So I got over the battery going in from the bottom. And then as I'm assembling this thing, and you've got some 5,000 wires that go into those wings. And a matter of fact, right before I flew it, I was on Amazon looking for some kind of mini multi-connector plug. You know, it was some kind of 10 pins where I was going to rearrange the wires into 2 plugs. You know, one for each wing, and then where you just plug in 2 plugs. And everything's done, because that's a mess under there. Each wing has 4 wires, and 3 of the wires are 3. You know, so that's 9, 10, 11 wires in each wing. That's a lot. And I have to transport my planes taken apart. So I've got to fool with all that stuff every time. And it's messed up right now, so I don't know what happened. It took off and it flew fine, and I made a left, and I think I remember saying that thing's pitchy. You got to use the rudder a little bit. And then I made that turn, and then as soon as it straightened out, that was when it started acting up. Now I just remember we got flight log. We got flight logs. Okay, here's 10 fades, no holds, 10 fades. And that's not that much. Now, I've flown with 10 fades before. So, all right, range test. There's the button for half power. So, half power. And we're walking quite a bit. That's not 100 yet. So I'm I'm still holding the half power. The plane is moving. I can hear it. It says 55% on the, now it's at 30%, and I still got full control that far away. So it wasn't a signal. So I took off towards the green Jeep, made the left. I realized it was pitchy. I straightened out. About that time I said you need to use the rudder a little bit. Finished my turn, and then before I got back to myself right here, that's when the signal quit. So it was definitely not a signal issue because the plane was getting closer to me. And then, I mean, I had some control, but it felt like things were backwards. I mean, I tried to save it over there, giving it some gas and not giving it gas. Interesting. Oh, we got telemetry also. Let's see what the battery and stuff is real quick before we unplug this thing. So I'm at 12.2 right now on the smart pack. The cells are 4.7, 4.8, and 4.8. So the battery was barely touched. Now I look at my highs and my lows, minimum and maximums. Max was 12.7, minimum was 11.4. Okay, so that means when I was giving it gas and the juice, you know, went down for a little bit, it read 11.4, and that's still above, you know, the nominal voltage. So this was not a voltage issue at all. It was not a signal issue. This was I think this was just faulty. This must be a bad one. I'll be darned. Dang it, that sucks.
Well, that's all for this video. I'm going to take the wings off of it, and I might take it, I think I'm going to take it completely apart and put it back in the box, and then I'll call or email Horizon Monday, and we'll see. But, okay. Happy flying, everybody. Until next time, you'll see me here. Yep, right there, right there, right there.